Jenkins. You could have been hearing this word a lot nowadays. Could have been wondering for a course which gives more of hands on rather than just explaining the concepts. Talking about the hands on, here we have come up with a course on Jenkins, that is, Jenkins on AWS, which teaches you concepts in Jenkins and has an associated hands on that allows you to put your learning into practice with the details on the environment used in the course. Let me walk you through the course objectives, lessons, hands on that we are going to learn and do along with the environment required. Now, let's go through the course objectives. In this course, you will be learning about setting up of AWS EC2 instance for Jenkins server, installing and configuring Jenkins on AWS, scheduling jobs on Jenkins instance, integrating GitHub repository with Jenkins, assigning role-based authorization plugin to new users, backing up configuration files of Jenkins in AWS instance, triggering Jenkins jobs automatically, creating pipeline using Groovy script in Jenkins, further to build and deploy an application to web server using Jenkins pipeline, creating a parallel agent pipeline job on Jenkins, creating pipeline using Blue Ocean, setting up Docker plugins on Jenkins, deploying Docker container with Jenkins pipelines. Now, let's understand what is Jenkins. Jenkins is a free and open source automation server which enables developers around the world to reliably build, test, deploy their software. It helps automate the parts of software development related to building, testing, and deploying, facilitating continuous integration and continuous delivery. In this course, you will learn to set up AWS EC2 instance for Jenkins server, installing and configuring Jenkins on AWS, how to access the Jenkins dashboard, further build and run a job in Jenkins AWS EC2 instance, DevOps advantages on Jenkins, to schedule jobs on Jenkins EC2 instance, to integrate GitHub repository with Jenkins, understanding of upstream and downstream jobs, to trigger this upstream and downstream jobs in Jenkins, understanding of Jenkins plugins, to build master and slave configuration on Jenkins instance, exploring on pipelines in Jenkins, understanding the Groovy scripting in Jenkins, illustrating how to integrate GitHub as source code on Jenkins, further creating the parallel agent pipeline job on Jenkins, to create a DevOps pipeline job, the overview of Blue Ocean pipeline to install Blue Ocean plugin on Jenkins, illustrating the steps to implement pipelines in Blue Ocean, illustrating the steps to set up the Docker pipelines on Jenkins, then knowing how to create the pipeline job for Docker on Jenkins and understanding the Docker container with Jenkins pipeline. This course is designed for a specific target audience, such as cloud administrators, cloud application developers, cloud architects, DevOps developers. The prerequisites for taking this course are basic cloud infrastructure concepts, working knowledge on Linux platform, basic understanding of Linux commands, basic understanding of CI/CD. The course schedule include the lessons and the practices, which illustrates the various concepts of Jenkins on AWS, and a lot of hands-on using various features of Jenkins. The course comprises of the 7 lessons. Lesson 1, that is Introduction to Jenkins on AWS. The practices for lesson 1 would have you to learn how to access AWS, create an EC2 instance and connect to it using the PuTTY, Further, we'll be installing the Jenkins packages in the AWS instance and start the Jenkins to access it. In lesson 2, that is build and run jobs on Jenkins, the practices for lesson 2 includes how to build and run a job on Jenkins instance, scheduling jobs on Jenkins instance and to integrate GitHub repository with Jenkins. Lesson 3, that is assigning roles to user and build master slave configuration. The practices for lesson 3 would have you to learn about assigning role based authorization plugin to new users, distributed build master slave configurations, and backing up configuration files on Jenkins in AWS instance. Lesson 4, that is integrate Jenkins pipelines with jobs. The practices for lesson 4 includes triggering Jenkins jobs automatically, to create pipeline using Groovy script in Jenkins, integrate GitHub has source code on Jenkins, and delegate a pipeline job using agent in Jenkins instance. Lesson 5, that is understanding of parallel Jenkins jobs and Jenkins slave on AWS. The practices for lesson 5 include how to build and deploy an application to web server using Jenkins pipeline, to create a parallel agent pipeline job on Jenkins, and create a DevOps pipeline job on Jenkins. Lesson 6, that is Blue Ocean Jenkins. The practice related to lesson 6 includes how to create a Jenkins pipeline using Blue Ocean. Lesson 7, Jenkins integration with Docker includes setting up of Docker plugins on Jenkins, to create a pipeline job for Docker on Jenkins, and deploying Docker container with Jenkins pipelines. To do the practices in this course, you need to set up a practice environment, which includes AWS account to access the Amazon cloud resources, WinSAP for the file transfer, PuTTY to connect to the cloud instances, GitHub account with the admin privileges. Now, at the end, let me summarize the information that you have got. Detailed course objectives, course description based on the objectives, course target audience, prerequisites for taking up this course, detailed course schedule, practice environment used in the course to do the practice.